Serena's comeback is over. Alex Eala's story is just getting started. Two sentences, two completely different endings to the same tournament. On one side of the draw, a legend walked away in tears of applause. On the other, a 21-year-old from the Philippines just kept winning, against the very player who ended Serena's run. Coincidence? Or is something bigger happening at Wimbledon this year? Stay with this story, because by the end, you'll understand exactly why one era is closing while another is only beginning.
Would you like to just start off by sharing your thoughts on the match today?
It was a very difficult match, and I'm really proud of how I held my ground and was able to shift the momentum. So I'm really happy.
Molly?
Yeah, it sounds super impactful when you say it like that, and it's obviously an amazing thing for me to be able to do that for my country, but I guess it's also very emotional every time I'm able to pass a new step or break new ground, just because it's also personal goals and personal achievements, and it's things that I've been working really hard for. It's things that my team has been working really hard for. So I really appreciate that I'm able to share this with the nation, but I think first and foremost, it makes me super proud because of the work that I've put in. Yeah.
Nearly 4 years. That's how long it had been since Serena Williams last stepped onto a Grand Slam singles court. Since 2022, since that emotional farewell at the US Open, the tennis world had accepted that her story as a singles competitor was finished. 23 Grand Slam titles, a career that redefined the sport. And then, in the summer of 2026, something nobody expected happened. Serena announced she was coming back. Not for a title, not because she believed she could win it all again. She said it herself. She wanted her daughters to see her play singles for the first time. 8-year-old Olympia, 2-year-old Adira. That was reason enough. Wimbledon organizers granted her a wild card, and just like that, the tennis world had a reason to stop and watch again. But while cameras and headlines chased Serena's every move, something quieter was happening on another court entirely. Alex Eala, the 21-year-old from the Philippines, walked into Wimbledon 2026 without the same fanfare, but with something arguably more dangerous: form. Real, undeniable form. She arrived fresh off winning the Birmingham Open, her second WTA 125 title, and a semi-final run at the Berlin Open. She was seeded for the first time ever at a Grand Slam, number 29, the first Filipina player to earn that distinction in Wimbledon's history. Two athletes, two completely different chapters, one closing a legendary career, the other opening one. Nobody could have predicted just how tightly their stories were about to intertwine. Because in sports, timing is everything, and this year, at the same tournament, on the same grass, fate placed a fading legend and a rising star on a collision course with the exact same opponent. What happened next would turn a routine Grand Slam draw into one of the most talked-about storylines of the season. The moment Serena Williams walked out onto center court, the entire stadium rose. Headphones on, a blank, focused expression. 44 years old, stepping into her first professional singles match in nearly 4 years. Her opponent, 20-year-old Maya Joint of Australia, ranked 87th in the world. A player who wasn't even born the first time Serena lifted a Wimbledon trophy. For 2 hours and 22 minutes, Serena gave the crowd everything they came for: a booming 121-mile-per-hour ace, a delicate topspin lob winner, flashes, real flashes of the player who once dominated this exact court. She even took the second set in a tiebreak, and for a moment the impossible felt within reach. But reality has a way of catching up. Joint's youth, movement, and consistency eventually wore Serena down. The final score, 6-3, 7-6, 6-3, in Joint's favor. Serena's comeback, the one that had captivated the sport for weeks, ended in a full ending, the kind every great champion deserves. The days that followed made it clear the story wasn't finished writing itself just yet. During that loss to Joint, Serena had injured her knee. Her agent, Jill Smaller, confirmed it publicly. Serena had tweaked her right knee at the end of the first set and left the grounds unaided, declining crutches even as her knee swelled. Suddenly, her highly anticipated doubles reunion with sister Venus, six-time Wimbledon doubles champions together, was thrown into serious doubt. The comeback that was supposed to end with family, celebration, and one more match alongside her sister was now hanging by a thread. It was a stark reminder of something every athlete eventually faces. The body doesn't negotiate with the heart. Serena wanted to give her daughters one more memory on that court. Her knee had other plans. And while the tennis world processed the bittersweet close of Serena's singles run, the draw delivered a twist nobody saw coming. The next opponent standing across the net from Alex Eala was Maya Joint, the very same player who had just ended Serena Williams' comeback. Think about what that meant. Eala wasn't just playing her next match, she was stepping onto the same court against the same player who had just beaten one of the greatest athletes in the sport's history. The pressure, the symbolism, the sheer weight of that matchup, it was impossible to ignore. Was Joint riding an unstoppable wave of momentum, or had Eala just been handed the perfect opportunity to make her own statement on the biggest stage of her career? Tennis fans and analysts began connecting the dots in real time. This wasn't just a second-round match anymore. It had become something bigger, a passing of the torch playing out match by match, whether anyone had planned it that way or not. But there was a deeper layer to this story that made it even more personal for Eala, because this wasn't the first time she and Maya Joint had crossed paths on a big stage. To understand what this match truly meant to Alex Eala, you have to go back to 2025, to the Eastbourne final, and a defeat that still lived somewhere in the back of her mind every time she stepped on court. That day, Joint had beaten Eala in a brutal three-set battle, capped off by a deciding tiebreak that went all the way to 12 points. It wasn't just a loss, it was the kind of defeat that lingers. Eala didn't hide from that pain when she spoke about it later. Yeah, so for those who don't know, we had the one still carrying the sting of Eastbourne, or the one who had spent an entire season proving she'd grown past it. Joint came out fast. She broke Eala in the opening game, backed it up with a hold, and took control early, dictating rallies with aggressive ball striking and finishing the first set with a commanding edge in winners. For a moment, it looked like history might repeat itself. The Eastbourne ghost seemed to be creeping back in. But Eala didn't fold. She adjusted, settled into her rhythm, and started dictating points with her own aggressive returning and consistent ground strokes. The match shifted. Game by game, she wore Joint down from the baseline, converting break points in long, grueling service games that stretched well past 10 minutes each. By the time the third set arrived, Eala wasn't just competing, she was firmly in control. The final result? 3-6, 2-2, 6-0. A statement. Not just a win, but a complete reversal of momentum in the deciding set. Eala had done more than advance to the third round. She had officially avenged the Eastbourne heartbreak in the biggest possible arena at the biggest possible moment. Her reaction afterward said everything. "I'm really happy," she said. "I think I improved a lot in this past year. I'm happy I'm able to look back at that loss. And I'm able to smile about the whole chapter." Read the emotional journey in that one sentence. From a loss so painful she couldn't watch the highlights, to a victory so meaningful she could finally smile about the whole chapter. That's not just a tennis scoreline, that's growth. On camera, in real time. And here's what makes this moment so powerful in the broader story of Wimbledon 2026. Eala didn't just beat an opponent, she beat the player who had just eliminated Serena Williams. In a strange, almost poetic way, the tournament had connected two completely different eras of women's tennis through a single player standing in the middle of both storylines. Serena's comeback closed one chapter, Eala's victory over the same. So here's the question worth sitting with. Was this simply one tournament, one draw, one coincidence of scheduling? Or did we just watch Alex Eala's rise get written in the same chapter as Serena Williams' goodbye? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And if you want to stay with Alex Eala's story as it continues to